Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite January 7th, 2026. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it very calmly, pretty much. The wrestling on this show was entertaining. I will give them that. But fucking A, learn how to sell. All they fucking do is fast pace. They don't sell shit. They get hit with excruciating fucking moves and then they act like it never happened. Storylines. Not much going on still on this show. That's a huge problem with both of these shows, honestly. I've come to one conclusion about AEW and WWE as a whole. They're kind of like the different sides of politics. You got the one side that's polished and conservative and all this nonsense. That's WWE. That's the Republican side. And then you got AEW, the more liberal side that goes all out crazy, gritty, and fucking insane shit. And not to mention the audience and the crowd are not like upper class or anything like that go to these shows. Mostly. Maybe I might be wrong about that part, but the rest of it, I'm right on point. This is AEW is more the liberal show where they go ahead and they go all out crazy, fast paced, risk it for the biscuit type of business. And they just go all out to kill each other just so they can make a match stand out to people. My attitude towards that is, I don't like it. I don't like that. I think that is shit. And yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I would rather these guys be more protective of each other. I would rather them go ahead and give us good wrestling without having to kill one another just to stand out and get over. But if you're a barbaric sicko, this was for you, this episode of AEW Dynamite. Me, I'm not an AEW sicko. I'm just a fan of professional wrestling that wishes that wrestling would get better. I was very tempted to watch the Phoenix Suns kick the shit out of the Memphis Grizzlies, and they did. They beat them by more than 20 points. I had a bet on that game, and I was checking on and off while I was watching the event, and boy, was I happy. Phoenix really kicked the snot out of their asses. But yeah, I mean, the show wasn't bad per se, but it still has a laundry list of problems. Storyline-wise, completely out the window. It's all about wrestle, but no stories. Mercedes Moné, she had a story. She was pissed off. She was losing her mind with Willow Nightingale's celebration of the TBS Women's Championship. She lost her cool and went crazy. I'll give Darby Allin and Pac a pass for their story. There's a little bit of a story there, I would say, because of the fact that Darby has beaten everybody in the Death Riders, but excluding Pac. Pac is the only one that's been able to beat him and not lose to him. And they pretty much touched on that tonight with him trying to break his ankle by slamming a door on his leg. I mean, some people would call that assault and battery, but then again, this is wrestling. It doesn't have to make sense. I mean, just like some of the fucking things we watch is just off the wall crazy on wrestling. And there was a mention in the news late December about William Regal and how He's concerned about the wrestling business as of late, or actually the last couple of years now. He's broken his neck twice, once in a match, once in a car accident. And he is very concerned about the well-being and health of these wrestlers and what they're doing in the middle of the ring. And there was an article questioning Tony Khan's take on that. And Tony Khan acts like, oh, we take good care of our wrestlers. We give a shit. No one's actually had any severe injury to where it's a career-ending injury. What a crock of shit that is. I don't know, Adam Cole being one of them. He's fucking pretty much done. Chuck Taylor's another one who has a bone disease, degenerating disease. I'm assuming it's from actual wrestling. It could be. And yeah. Tony Khan lying through his teeth, not taking any accountability. I'm not saying, you might be right. We do go a little hard, but we do it for the entertainment of the fans. We might go ahead and look further into that and consider that as something to maybe look into and maybe change the style of the wrestling that we do here on a week-to-week basis. But no, he doesn't take any accountability. He says everything's fine. These promoters can never be open and honest with people. It's always got to be positive, positive, positive. And I'm all fine with positivity. I'm one of the people that really have a hard time finding positive. I'm kind of the negative guy. And for good reason. I'm positive when I see something positive happen. Don't get me wrong, and when it does, I'm ecstatic over it, because not too often do you see legitimate positive things happening within the world, because the world's so fucked up. Hence why I'm so damn negative. Back when I was a kid, I was more of an optimistic, happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and I was more, I believe I can type of shit. Well, actually, no, I was the complete opposite. I wasn't really optimistic about myself. I am now about myself. I believe I can do pretty much anything I set my mind to. Outside of overcoming my learning disability, I had a lot of obstacles that were thrown my way I didn't think I'd be able to overcome. And I just bit down on my lip and just said, no more of this fucking shit. I gotta do it, or I'm not gonna survive in this world. So I changed my attitude and I said, yes, I can. And eventually it worked out for me. And I learned that when you're positive within yourself, things can happen because it's in your own control. Now, some things, even if you try real hard, it's out of your control. I mean, at that point, you can't be down on yourself. It's just the way it is. But this guy just took no accountability for anything that's going on in this company. And I will be the first one to tell you, I am really worried that somebody is going to die in this company at some point, based on the stunts, the things they do. I mean, this one spot during the main event with the lights out match, I mean, that was crazy. They had Will Hobbs take a spot with the Deadeye on top of cinder blocks. Had this move been done incorrectly, like if his head actually hit those fucking cinder blocks, because it looked like it hurt Adam Page's knees. He did not look like he was feeling too good from that. But yeah, anyway, I mean, like shit like that, Tony Khan sees there's no big deal. He lets these guys just do whatever the hell they want. And I'll be the first one to say it. You gotta let these wrestlers go out on their own, sell themselves to the audience. If you don't let them sell themselves to the audience and give them the freedom of doing that, they're never gonna get over genuinely. So, my attitude is, there's certain aspects of the business that I would say let the wrestlers do their thing and get themselves over. But these stunts they do, it has to stop. Somebody's gonna get really hurt. And yeah, for the viewership, for the entertainment purposes of it as a viewer, I mean it's fucking entertaining and crazy as hell. But you take a step back and you think about this and you see these spots, I mean it's like these guys are going to get really hurt. You can't be that fucking bloodthirsty, animalistic to just be like, oh, this is perfectly fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Who cares? It's entertainment. No, it's not entertainment when someone's laying there stiff as a board or they're being carried out on a stretcher because they broke their fucking neck, or be like an Owen Hart situation. I mean, give me a break, man. I know that's kind of stretching it, but that's kind of where we could head to if this shit continues to be this dangerous. Someone could literally die in that fucking ring like Owen Hart did. Only Owen Hart didn't die from a wrestling match. He died from a stupid stunt they were doing with him. But regardless, it's still the same thing. They're dying in the middle of a ring for no fucking reason at all, doing unnecessary things. I mean, having Owen Hart doing what he did back in 1999 was very unnecessary. He didn't have to do an entrance like that, flying from the top of a, soaring down from the top of a fucking skyscraper from the arena down to the ring. It was idiotic and stupid. I mean, for a visual, it was awesome, but safety, no, it wasn't. It was very dumb. So you got to distinguish between the two, whether as a viewer, yeah, it's entertaining, but you take a step back and you think about it logically. This is not something you want to have happening on a show like this on a consistent basis. Somebody is going to get hurt really, really bad, or even dead. And that's a concern I have at this point. But let's get into the show itself. I've talked a little bit too long in the intro, so let's get to it because I don't want this going on too long. We had Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross coming back finally. Apparently he's over his illness, or at least he's in recovery and remission with his health, so I'm very happy for him on that. We kickstarted the show though with Jet Speed actually being removed from a 6-man tag team match with Jungle Boy. They were attacked by Demand, and it was a hit that Don Callis took with Jake something, who's now called, Jake Doyle, and formerly known as Jake something. And Mark Davis, that was the other person with him that did this attack. So Jack something, now known as Jack Doyle, went ahead and made an impact of some kind. He made a hit. I guess that's okay. So he's going to have to find 2 new partners. That ended up being the Young Bucks at the end of all this once they got to the match. They had a AEW Continental Championship title eliminator. Basically, if Shelton Benjamin won, he'd get a rematch with Jon Moxley for his title. Jon Moxley and Shelton Benjamin had a nice little kickstart to the show. I think the match was fairly decent, entertaining stuff. And Jon Moxley ends up winning the match after he is placed in a triangle choke. He actually rolls him up and stacks him up for his shoulders to be on the mat for a 3 count. And Jon Moxley walks away with the victory. So Shelton Benjamin was somewhat protected in this match with the fact that it wasn't connected with the finisher, but instead it was him being pinned by a roll up pinfall instead of a finisher connecting on him to get the victory. Match was good. I thought it was entertaining. John Moxley has been doing some good work since his little turnaround from the audience finally gaining liking towards him. Shelton Benjamin and him shook hands and showed some respect to one another. Commentary hypes up a match between Bandito and Sammy Guevara for a match between them later in the show. I thought that match was fairly decent too. There was some spots in that they didn't sell shit in that. So anyway, backstage we see Darby Allin with a look of focus on his face as he looks for someone, which is Pac. Before we actually cut to a video package highlighting the retirement match of Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom this past weekend, where the ace of New Japan faced off against the biggest rival is Okada. So yeah, he actually wins that match. So up next is a 6-man tag team match. Jack Perry, the Young Bucks versus The Demand with Ricochet and his 2 tag team buddies from The Demand. This match was whatever, honestly. Young Bucks being back, that was pretty cool. They kind of look like their old school gear from back in 2019. They're really desperate of trying to bring back that feeling that we used to have in AEW. I don't think we're ever going to find that. After the match was over, the celebration is cut short as Mark Davis and Jake Doyle head to the ring and start beating them up with the Don Callis family that is briefly cut off by Jet Speed heading down. The lights cut out, and when they come back on, we see someone in the mask taking out Jet Speed. That's Andrade El Idolo. And I don't know if he's actually cleared. They may want to check his contract there, TK. I mean, granted, we all know that you'll probably say, that was never an issue. It was just a misunderstanding and blah. No. I know damn well that guy is a fucking douchebag. I don't think Tony Khan is at all a very smart businessman in any sense of the word. I think he's the biggest idiot walking, man. I mean, yeah, you want to be friends with your workers. Okay, fine. That's cool. That's being a nice boss and all. But, one, I don't understand how you can allow wrestlers, and I don't know why these wrestlers would be willing to go out of their way to literally kill themselves just so they can get over with an audience, when the audience would be happy just to see them perform and doing what they do. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I really find it to be interesting how this company can do these things and just, flat out just not care about the safety and well-being of their wrestlers. But, I mean, it's one thing to be close with your workers and you want to be friends with them, and that's fine. This business is known for, you're traveling around the world most of the time with your colleagues than being around your family. So, obviously, I can understand why you would want to be friends with each other. But shit, man, at least have a little decency and respect of, running a business and not allowing your performers to walk all over you like you're a lump of shit or a doormat. I mean, Jesus. Have some balls. I mean, you're paying these fucking guys enough money. They should give you enough respect and say, okay, boss, no problem. I mean, if I was nice to my coworkers and I was a boss and I was doing everything to make their lives easier, paying them good money, giving them a place where they could get over genuinely instead of allowing them to have to be force-fed down people's throats to say, oh, you got over correctly the way we wanted you to. I mean, and he does give them a lot of leeway. Have enough fucking respect, and he should have enough care for his performers and stand up and say, no, I don't want you guys doing this kind of shit. This shit has got to stop. I don't want any of you getting killed or dead. It's one thing to get over with the audience, it's another thing to go ahead and kill yourselves just to get over. It's fucking stupid, and I don't want it happening in this company anymore. He really, I mean, I don't know what the fuck he's smoking, but these ratings would concern me as a business owner. The fans on the internet saying what they say, a lot of people do not think much of AEW. I will just say that right now. There's a small portion that love them to death. I'd say a couple of 100,000 people, like 400,000 to 500,000. And that's their general audience they get week to week most of the time. Or just general people like myself who just love wrestling and are willing to watch it even if it's shit. Because we just love pro wrestling and we want to see it get better. But unfortunately we're always disappointed. Maybe we ought to take Triple H's advice and say if we don't like it, just fuck off. Maybe that's what we ought to all go do. I mean, technically, that's what most people are doing. That's why the ratings on both shows, both companies, are going down into the toilet. Because they don't seem to listen to their audience, and they don't seem to find any intrigue from watching these shitty-ass products. But anyway. We had a ringside. Renee Paquette welcomes us to the title celebration of Willow Nightingale, introducing the new TBS Women's Champion to the ring to a big pop from the crowd. Her fellow champions and friends Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander join her in entering the ring as someone on the production team is seemingly trying to figure out how to work the lights and fog machine. Yeah, there was problems with the fucking lighting. Apparently AEW did not pay for the bill for the lights to be on for the entire show. They also had this issue occur during the Lights Out match. I never knew that during a Lights Out match, I've never seen a Lights Out match, have all the lights out completely. Where they just have one light panned on two guys fighting outside the ring. Never seen that before in an AEW Lights Out match before. I don't know. Last time we had a Lights Out match, I think it was in 2024 during the All Out pay-per-view inside the steel cage with Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. And I don't think the lights were literally out. They turned the lights out temporarily as a way of kind of issuing the idea that the show is officially over and now we're doing a dark match that will not count on the record of these two wrestlers that are participating in the match. Instead, we had a glitch during that portion of the match, and then finally they got that fixed, and thankfully the rest of the show is not completely covered with just the lights being out, which would have been really fucking shitty visual to sit there and watch them in dim light. So as this goes on, Willow hypes up her win and thanks her friends for being here. The crowd is slightly rowdy as they chant, "We want cake," to which Willow says they'll get some before talking about potential challengers. She's willing to fight twice in one night if she has to. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, Jon Moxley did that. By the way, I forgot to mention, Harley Cameron, man, she was looking kind of slutty. I mean, literally, her tits looked like they were going to fall out of her dress. She looked like she was ready to go prostitute herself somewhere on the corner of on 34th Street in New York. What the fuck? So anyway, she also invites anyone who wants to come crash her party to do so now, including Miss Thing Mercedes Moné, who she defeated for the title last week. Yeah, that was kind of a shocker. I didn't think that was going to occur. Sure enough, the CEO makes her way out wearing a getup that looks like she has arrived for a funeral. Wearing all white, though, instead of black. Monet makes her way to the ring as Willow says they have so much to celebrate. She hypes up all that Mercedes did this year. But it's not enough for Monet to start throwing a fit, to which the other ladies respond by sending her into a cake not once, but twice. Yes, Mercedes Moné tied into her split personality as Bayley does on WWE. She lost her fucking mind. So anyway, Mercedes is laid out in the ring as the other ladies do a conga line around her. Oh God, this is the woman that's gonna come back and regain all her glory by winning the World Heavyweight Championship. This is shit. Again, I still believe that Mercedes Moné should have won the women's world title either at All In, or if she wasn't going to do that, beat Chris Statlander for the women's title, the world title, and then drop all the championships and vacate them. She no longer needed them. There was no need for her to go about losing all these fucking titles, in which case, at this point, now that she lost the TBS Women's Championship, those other titles to her don't seem to matter much. Because we didn't see anyone holding titles. She didn't bring any of them out with her. She didn't do shit. She was just pissed as if she was titleless. She had no titles. Which is not true. Still got another, 11 more championships still at her disposal that she could lose? I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, like I said before, I still think she should have won and then dropped all the championships. Just vacated them all. Said, hey, I got the most important title I was looking for. These other titles were very meaningful. But now I have a responsibility. I have the weight of the AEW women's division on my back. I have to be a fighting champion. And I'm going to do that by beating everybody in this division, proving I'm the CEO of AEW's women's division. That's what I would have done. But hey, you know. You have her win all these fucking titles, and now you're going to have her go ahead and lose all of them? Just so she can climb back to the top of the mountain so she can win the AEW Women's World title that she still has yet to win. Yeah, I don't care now if she even wins the fucking championship or not. I really don't. Doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Fucking joke, man. Anyway, we get a look back at Hechicero getting a future shot at the TNT title after beating Commander. Oh my God, like, I'm supposed to know this kind of shit? Like, how many people are watching Collision? I don't think hardly anyone. Followed by a vignette from Mark Briscoe at his home where he hypes up the new TBS Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale, and then talks about recovering after recent matches. He promises to keep the title away from the Don Callis family, as the phrase of the day is reign and defend. Saturday night on Collision sees him defend the title against Hechicero. Oh boy. I wonder who's going to win that one. Gee. What the fuck? Like, anyone gives a shit about that fucking match. Anyone thinks that that match is going to turn out where Mark Briscoe is going to lose. You got to be smoking fucking crack. Anyway. We cut to a shower, and by the way, this is on fucking Collision of all places. So if you're gonna have a title change on Collision, you might as well just shoot yourself in the fucking head and call it a day, because you're beyond creative or match booking. You're a fucking blown out idiot. You don't fucking have a title change on a fucking show that hardly nobody watches. That's just stupid as shit. So we cut to a shower corner. Yes, the Triangle of Madness with Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. They're standing in the corner of a shower. A standing shower in the women's locker room, cutting a promo. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why couldn't this been in the locker room or by the fucking reporting area, or maybe having Renee Paquette interview them? They're sitting in the fucking shower corner. They haven't done nothing on AEW Dynamite at all. They don't wrestle. They don't even interact with these women. For fucking Chris Statlander, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale, we don't see any interaction. At least I'm not paying attention, maybe. Maybe I'm missing the plot point. I mean, what the fuck is this? They're standing in the fucking corner of a standing women's shower talking about how they are sisters. They are the sisters of violence. And they say, come on, friends, let's get toxic. Are we trying to create a porno flick or what? What the fuck is this? What the fuck? God. And look, I will give Tekla all the credit in the world. She is fucking awesome with her promos. She's doing most of the talking. Julia Hart and Sky Blue are like the two twin sisters from the fucking Shining, in my opinion. All you need is a fucking big giant glob of blood coming down from the fucking wall and coming through the floor and having a mountain of blood, a river of blood coming at you at this point. That's how fucked up those two are. They're just side characters at this point. Tekla's the only thing I give a fuck about. Now, if you want to give her the fucking title, by all means do it. But let's get her some fucking W's first. I don't even know how the fuck they even how they have interaction with these three ladies. All they keep doing is talking shit backstage. Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Harley Cameron, they don't even acknowledge their existence. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Anyway, God almighty, this company is fucking retarded. With all the credit in the world for their wrestling capabilities, with the performance they got, it's fucking awesome. But my God, when it comes to storytelling, they're fucking off the walls retarded. I mean, swear to God, this is fucking shit. Anyway, we get a look back at Guevara challenging Bandito to a match for tonight, looking to replace the Ring of Honor World Champion ahead of his match for the AEW World title. God. So we have a non-title match with the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito versus Sammy Guevara. This match was good, but again, selling points were not implied in this match at all. Everything fast-paced, boom, 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 hitting all their moves, not selling the moves, not making them look devastating. I mean, like, at the end of this, I was surprised the match even came to an end because they kept kicking out at all these devastating moves they were delivering on each other. And then finally, they hit the 21 Plex with Bandito on Sammy Guevara, and then finally we get the end of the match. But, I mean, my God, like, what the fuck, man? Celebration, though, is cut short by the arrival of the AEW World Champion, the breath of fresh air. That is MJF to AEW. He's a breath of fresh air. He's the adrenaline shot to the arm that AEW needs. Thank God he's the fucking world champion. I'm going to absolutely hate it when they have to have him drop the title to either Darby Allin or Will Ospreay. I mean, Will Ospreay, great. Darby Allin, he's going to be like a Mick Foley. He's going to get that one-hit wonder type of feeling, and he's probably going to lose it in less than a couple of weeks to a month. That's pretty much what's going to happen with him. So he does the microphone as he heads to the ring, and it looks like John Cruz is about to act as an interpreter as MJF congratulates Bandito on the win tonight. Yeah, John Cruz speaks in Spanish. I was going to say Japanese or Chinese. I don't know why I was thinking that. I guess because of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know. That just was random. That popped in my head. I don't know why. But MJF, of course, then hypes himself up as someone who knows a thing or two about luchadors and even calls himself a Lucha Libre legend since he won the CMLL championship and has beaten some big names there. He respects Bandito, however, and because he respects him, he has asked Jonathan Cruz to translate for him. So Cruz then translates in Spanish exactly the words he had to say. And we all know that Bandito knows how to speak English. And so on and so forth. So, let's see. MJF thanks Cruz for being willing to come to a dump like Oklahoma. That was fucking hilarious. Fans booed the shit out of him. Now that's how you get a pop. And you get heat. You call the fucking place a dump. You don't have to shit on the fucking sports team. You just go ahead and shit on the fucking city itself. Because most cities, they're garbage looking. They're not taken care of very well. Anytime you go to the city, you're always going towards the ghetto and then the city. Anywho. Let's get to it. I just lost my damn place. Fuck. Hold on 1 second, guys. I apologize. So, he claims the ring Bandito has actually belongs to him, telling Bandito to hand it over. He talks about for his services before talking up his previous Dynamite Diamond Ring wins. He has 6 wins. Apparently, he has 6 rings at home. I don't know why he would have 6 when we've seen him with 1 the whole entire time. Thanks, Tony Khan, for making logical sense of all that. We have never seen him with 6 fucking rings. He's always had 1 that he would defend each and every year when the winner of the Battle Royal occurred. But of course, we had to make sense of it as to why he wasn't in the finals for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, so we had to say he won 6 rings instead, as a way of saying, oh, this year I just decided not to show up. The fuck out of here. Making no logical sense. But he goes ahead and he says he claims the ring Bandito has actually belongs to him, telling Bandito to hand it over, and we'll call it off. We'll call off the world title match for next week. He promises to talk to Tony Khan to put over Bandito and get him a pay-per-view match in maybe 5 to 10 years' time. That was funny. He asks Cruz to translate, but Bandito cuts him off and tells MJF that he can speak English. You stupid son of a bitch. So, that gets cut off by, they had a stare down, and then it gets cut off by a low blow by MJF. He gets Cruz to hold the Bandito up after stealing the ring, looking for another cheap shot, but Bandito breaks free and Cruz gets laid the fuck out. I mean, literally, MJF clocked him square in the fucking head, and he went down like a ton of bricks. I mean, if that was not real, and if that was not a shoot, and that was a work, that was the best work I have never seen a sell like that in a very long time, folks. That was a fucking amazing sell by John Cruz. The man should be given an award for that. That was fucking awesome. And if it was real, damn, that shit must have fucking hurt. But anyway, Bandino did get the upper hand. He low blows him. He lands his finishing maneuver on both John Cruz and MJF and holds the championship in his hand. Didn't like the strap because of the changing of the color of the strap, and it wasn't like AEW's original title. He's like, nah, fuck this shit, and he put it back down, and that was that. So we get a vignette highlighting Brody King's 2 lives, one being him as a metalhead part of a band, which I'm actually interested in going to check out his band, finding out how his music is. I actually liked what they did here. This was a nice little kind of getting involved in the man's life, seeing who he is as a person, kind of getting a feel of who he is as a person. And I just kind of liked it. It was a nice little kind of touch on who he is as a person. I just said that multiple times. I'm sorry, guys. But I just like the fact that we got to see 2 parts of his life. And he did say violence sometimes is necessary to get things accomplished. And he pretty much says that he's going to be ready and he's going to chase after the world title. I believe that's what he said. But I will be very open to the idea of Brody King becoming a world champion if they can get him pushed well enough. And I think they could. I think he's lasted in pro wrestling long enough. He was a main eventer in Ring of Honor. I don't believe he held the Ring of Honor world title. He did compete for it at one point. And at some point, they're probably going to have to lean towards him getting the world title. The guy is just physical in the ring, very believable. He's just good at what he does in certain aspects. This tag team with Bandino was excellent. I enjoyed what he had to offer with Bandino. I think those two as a team was fun as shit. Even though they weren't a legitimate tag team, they were fun to watch together. Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. That was up next. For me, this match was whatever. I think Marina Shafir did alright. I think she's trying to implement MMA fighting styles in these wrestling matches. Because that's what she's better at doing. And she's trying to work with the wrestlers and trying to gel it together. I don't think she's terrible. She was pretty good in this matchup. Compared to her previous matches in the past were fucking shit. This was not bad. The ending was kind of fucking ridiculous. But then again, the referee finally did his damn job. Speaking of not doing their damn job, I think this was the same referee who called for the disqualification after Wheeler Yuta pulled the referee out of the ring during the match. And cost Marina Shafir the matchup and got her disqualified. And during the Jon Moxley-Shelton Benjamin match, they were fighting outside the ring. It was just a singles match the whole entire time. And the referee wasn't even counting. The referee was not doing his fucking job. I guess he wanted to rectify that in this match when a outsider that wasn't actually in the match grabbing the referee and trying to pull him out of the ring during his 3 count, he decided, maybe I ought to just disqualify him finally. Wow. Fucking retarded. Yuta Garcia argue with the ref as Shafir goes back on track. Back on the attack, and Mina Shirakawa runs down for the save, only to be laid out by the problem, Marina Shafir, before Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong run down to intervene as well. Yes, Mina got laid out with one kick, and boy, was she so exhausted. She just fell right on top of Toni Storm as if she was going for a pinfall. Yeah, one little fucking kick. She had all that fucking energy, runs down to the ring, gets kicked in the chest, and that was it. That's all it took. Oh, God, you gotta love Tony Khan, man. He really knows how to really book a fucking show. What a dumbass. Anyway, this situation finally comes down after Claudio Castagnoli heads down and the Death Riders make their escape through the crowd as Cassie helps Mina back to her feet. The sight of Cassie, Storm, and Shirakawa giving off Tommy Dreamer ECW vibes for the fans, for this fan as we go to a commercial break. This is what the writer said. I felt no vibes of that at all, nor do I want to. Pac went ahead, was backstage, says he's not interested in obliging Darby Allin's demands for a rematch even when Allin confronts him in person. Darby says he's defeated everyone in the Death Riders except for Pac, asking him to give him this. And when Pac refuses, Darby blindsides him with a fire extinguisher. Yeah, a fire extinguisher, folks, really hurt Pac's eyes with his back turned. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. He finally turned around, though, while the fire extinguisher was going off with his back was turned and it went off, and then he turns around and he goes, "Oh, God! Oh, God!" His eyes are all fucked up from the terrible, terrible fire extinguisher that was poorly executed backstage. What the fuck are we doing here, folks? We couldn't have just come to a normal, negotiation. Pac had a point. He beat him twice. What purpose, what need did he need to go ahead and give him another match when he already beat him in a match? I mean, if you want to go ahead and say, hey, what is it in for me? What do I gain from this, Darby? What do you want from me? You want me to just give you a match? You never beat me one time. How the fuck do you want me to do this? Is there something I gain out of this if I win? Do I get a world title shot? Can we work out a deal with Tony Khan and get a deal in that I get a world championship match if I beat you? Anything? No, we couldn't do that. We had to go to the extent of being barbaric animals, doing shit like this, and then putting Pac inside, beating the shit out of him, and then shoving him towards a door and threatening to close the door on his ankle so he could break his fucking ankle. and Pac finally gives him the match that way. Like, bro, get real with yourself. You fucking lost twice to this dude. What the hell did you expect him to say? Sure, no problem. I'll give you another match. After I beat you twice? Why the fuck would he need to give you a match for? To satisfy your fucking, your goals? Oh, I haven't beaten Pac. Oh, God, what am I gonna do? Move on with your fucking life. The Death Riders rivalry with Pac is with Darby Allin is over. Hopefully, though, the payoff of this is Pac ends up losing to Darby Allin. Darby Allin then gets attacked by Pac and the rest of the Death Riders, but one Death Rider member named Jon Moxley decides to do the right thing because, by the way, he showed respect tonight while the rest of the Death Riders were fucking playing heels. So I honestly think Pac's gonna lose. Pac is gonna get pissed off. The rest of the Death Riders are gonna be angry. Jon Moxley's gonna come in, tell them, you need to stop doing this shit. The guy is cool in my book. Don't beat his ass. He helps him up. And then the rest of the Death Riders beat the shit out of both Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. And that's how you end the Death Riders and Jon Moxley's little run together. And Pac becomes the leader of the Death Riders. Now, granted, that's not the exact way I would want to make my new leader come out being as a fucking loser. But at least we end this bullshit with Darby Allin's quest to get the win over Pac. Because he wants to get a win over every member of the Death Riders. Like that gets him somewhere. Jesus Christ. The fuck? Anyway, let's move on here. Anyway, we get started with the main event, the Lights Out match with Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland against the Ops with Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs. I've already discussed this. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page end up winning this match the same way that Hangman won against Jon Moxley at All In. Basically hung him from the chain around the neck over the ropes, and Hook just decided no need to fight this, just give up and surrender, because if not, I'm going to die. And that's pretty much what he did. I already mentioned about the cinder block spot with Will Hobbs and Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. That was a pretty devastating spot. God forbid Will Hobbs' head hit that fucking cinder block, because it looked like it hurt Hangman Page's knees pretty bad. He did not look like he was in any, he didn't look like he was feeling good after that spot. But yeah, that was the match as a whole. The match was pretty self-explanatory. They were all over the place. They had fucking members from the Ops, these trainee op members. I don't know where the fuck this shit came from. What are we doing? Creating a new wrestling school? I think they would learn better from Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory than from some shithole through AEW, honestly. But yeah, the Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, they end up walking away with the W, closing the night on a high note for the good guys. And that was pretty much the show at the end of the day. That is your review. Not bad. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but again, story, this is none there. If you enjoy just watching non-stop wrestling, you came to the right place. But storyline development, getting you pumped for an upcoming pay-per-view in March, not being found here. That's not happening. And honestly, that's not being found in WWE. So I don't want to give you guys the impressions I'm being biased or saying I love WWE over AEW. I don't. I think they are both giving the fans a disservice. The fans that go to these wrestling events at least show up and make their voice heard, whether it's positive or negative. I mean, we got to hear a lot of crowd reaction during this. I can understand why. I mean, if I wasn't being duped out of $5,000 worth of money for just an average Joe seat, and I was only paying a couple of $100, I would be pretty fucking stoked to be there too, even if it was all just straight up wrestling with no story. Because, my God, I don't know where these fucking people that go to these WWE events have the fucking... why they would even throw their money away on this shit. After seeing the Royal Rumble, I kind of second-guessed spending that kind of money. I really do. I don't understand why I spent $5,000 just to go see a fucking Royal Rumble event that, when I went back to watch, wasn't as good as it was when I saw it in person. Just saying, putting that out there for you. But yeah, just being there, it was fun. I really enjoyed myself, but $5,000 worth of just an experience? I could have done a whole lot more with my $5,000. Like, I literally could have paid off my car. I could have done that. But it is what it is. Anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.